Getting a tattoo on your face is no cakewalk. You better be sure you know what you want and you're doing it in the right place, or you might end up with a face that looks like a scene from a horror movie. Some people failed to take this advice, and their faces are telling the story today. Prepare for laughs, shocks, and horror as we take you through several moments when face tattoos went terribly wrong. Sit back, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. 6. The cheating girlfriend's kiss. Of course, there are guys out there who are very romantic and would literally do anything for love, and this young man at number 6 happened to be one of those. The young man decided to take the huge step to do the unthinkable, which made him go viral on TikTok. Apparently, he tried to surprise his girlfriend with a tattoo of her lips on his cheeks. However, this surprise didn't go as planned. For context, this relationship was just 2 weeks old, so after the tattoo was drawn, he called her to let her know, but to his surprise, her reaction was not how he had pictured it.
Hello?
You serious? What the f do you mean? Like, you got my lips tatted on you and are you stupid or what? That's just permanent and on your fucking face. We've only been together for 2 weeks.
Okay, but I love you.
Like that's not bad enough, homegirl went on to cheat on him, and they eventually split up. But being a smart guy, the young man just transformed the tattoo into a rose. 5. Alexis Creighton's star. At 22, Alexis was interested in getting one of those face tattoos for herself. However, her job at a restaurant kinda stood in the way, so she decided to have a conversation with her boss about it. Alexis claims she spoke to her boss about her plans and even went on to show him the design she was going for as well as her appointment date. Initially, her boss gave her permission, given that the tattoo was just a little star on the side of her cheek. But I guess he thought it through at some point and didn't want that in his restaurant. So just a few minutes before Alexis's appointment was to begin, Alexis said that her boss reached out to her and fired her over the phone. His excuse was simply that she lived too far from the restaurant. However, Alexis believes that there was a different reason for her termination. Clearly, her boss knew the day of her appointment, so it's no coincidence that he had called to fire her that same day. 4. Mike James, the Messi fan. There's absolutely no problem with being a fan of anything or anyone. However, there is a very thin line between fandom and obsession, and realizing that takes a lot of self-awareness. Well, Mike James never thought of it that way until he made his biggest life mistake. In 2022, when Argentina won the FIFA World Cup, Mike James, a super fan of Messi, took the wild move to boldly tattoo Messi's name on his face. Apparently, this was his way of celebrating his hero's achievement. This was a very bold move, but certainly not a smart one. Mike also went on to get 3 huge stars on his cheeks, each of these stars representing the 3 World Cups Argentina had won. As you'd expect, the young man immediately went viral all over the world, and the trolls literally started working overtime. Initially, Mike stood his ground and even mentioned that his decision wasn't hurting anyone, nor was he doing anything illegal. Well, it didn't take too long for him to eat his words. Mike soon began to regret his decision and wanted to remove them, but he didn't know how. According to Mike, his tattoos didn't bring him the response he expected. Rather, they only brought negative things to him, not only personally, but also to his family. He probably was expecting recognition from Messi, his hero. Better luck next time, Mike. 3. Napapron Meeking's second set of brows. It is quite unfortunate that while many people make controversial choices like Mike James, there are others who are victims of incompetence. Napapron Meeking is an example of this latter case. All the 32-year-old woman wanted was to have nice eyebrows, so she opted to have a pair tattooed on. She quickly found a clinic in Thailand that agreed to get the job done for just $35. Now, for that price, she should have been a little suspicious, but she decided to roll with it, and well, what unfolded was very unpleasant. By the time the session was over, the results left Napapron horrified. Apparently, the tattoo artist decided to do his own thing by giving her 2 new arches above her actual eyebrows. Naturally, this made her very mad, but the artist calmed her down, promising it would be fixed. But then, just about 24 hours later, Nepapron saw that the shop had been shut down, and the owner had gone off the grid, forcing her to walk around with 2 sets of eyebrows that completely destroyed her confidence. Every other beautician she spoke to had no solution. Thankfully, a renowned clinic heard her story and offered to fix her eyebrow situation at 0 cost. Lucky you, Nepapron. 2. Tilly Whitefield's freckle fail. Everyone knows how homemade freckle tattoos have been trending all over TikTok. While some make use of henna paste, others go to greater lengths like our friend Tilly. Tilly had discovered one of these DIY freckle tattoo hacks and decided she was gonna try it on herself with ink and a sewing needle. She went straight to eBay, bought a random bottle of brown ink, and probably picked up a needle from her sewing kit. Tilly was about to get the freckles of her dreams at very little cost. Apparently, she didn't try to do any research on the ink, and unfortunately, nothing was specified on the video she'd seen. Those were already glaring red flags, but who cares, right? Well, turned out Tilly had purchased a fake ink that contained a lot of lead. So, just after trying out her DIY freckles, Tilly's skin began to react so badly that she was hospitalized. Tilly temporarily lost her vision and experienced major swelling and sickness thanks to the infection. Determined to get rid of the consequences of her actions, Tilly spent over $12,000 on several procedures. However, according to the doctors, there was nothing that could be done about her scars. That definitely hurt a lot, but hopefully she learned to be a little more careful when it comes to DIYs. 1. Allison Allen's self-destruct tattoo. Breakups are the absolute worst, but your ability to not make the most of unhinged decisions during that period is underrated. Allison had just gone through a terrible breakup, which left her in a dark place, feeling terribly depressed. With all that rage and pain bottled up on her insides, Allison couldn't think of a better way to let it out than to visit her tattoo artists. Now, a visit to a tattoo artist is not in itself a bad idea, but doing it with a clouded mind guaranteed unintended consequences. Allison's face tattoo of choice was a skull and bones ink on her cheek, which the parlor said would cost her only $60. Of course, she went all in and got the ink. Problem is, time heals all wounds, as they say. And so, a couple years down the line, in 2020, Allison was doing much better emotionally and mentally. Life was starting to feel rosy again, her business doing great. But you know what didn't change? The skull and bones tattooed on her face. Many people kept throwing nasty comments criticizing her, even to the point of calling it thuggish. She sure wasn't gonna let that ruin her brand, so she managed to cough out about $1,700 to take out her $60 tattoo. She literally had to pay about 30 times the amount she initially spent just to correct her mistake through a painful laser removal process. Now, you tell me, was it worth it? Certainly not. With that, we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, do let us know by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell for more videos like this and more. Thank you very much for watching.